Last year, when I was painting this during the Lunar New Year celebration, I really thought that we are through coronavirus, but little did I know that things were gonna get worse before it get better. If you have not seen the sketch, I'll put a link right here for you. After all, it was in 3rd April 2020 that the circuit breaker was announced in Singapore by the Prime Minister.
Decided that instead of tightening incrementally over the next few weeks, we should make a decisive move now to preempt escalating infections. We will therefore impose significantly stricter measures. This is like a circuit breaker. It will help to reduce the risk of a big outbreak occurring.
By then, we already have almost a year of wearing masks in the public. Everywhere you go, people have to be masked up in Singapore. Well, even now. So the golden ox didn't bring us any joy at all, and I was looking forward to this year. Well, this year is going to be the year of the water tiger, and if anything that goes on fire, I suppose the water tiger will put it out, or at least the water would. I did a sketch of this in an earlier video. If you're interested, I will put the link right here. But I'm hopeful that this time the real spring begins. But before I get in front of myself, I will tell you some of the other bad stuff that happened in 2021. Like this one, Chinatown's Heritage Center. It was closed, I guess temporarily, I hope. Well, after the Lunar New Year, bad news was still coming out fast and thick throughout 2021. Even now, we are not quite out of the woods. Shops are still shuttered. There's a lot of shuttered shop, that is. Well, even the famous Chinatown food street was closed down towards the end of last year, 2021. Well, some say good riddance because these only cater to the tourists and they are too expensive for the locals, but I beg to differ. I think there should be places for tourists and there should be places for locals. There should be variety. After all, Singapore is an international destination. But things are beginning to look up. Why do I say that? Well, I've been walking around Chinatown these past few days, and there are signs of life around the vendors, the street vendors. There are people walking around, and it is lovely to see their crowd coming back. Even at night, when I was walking around, this is about 10:30 at night, you could see that there's life, and shops are still open doing brisk business. I think there's clearly signs of life coming back to Chinatown in Singapore. It is spring and it's lovely to see flowers blooming and so colorful, right? So that was from a store selling flowers, and these are little trinklets in Chinatown in full swing. It's beginning to look a lot like spring. Chuan, spring. I really love the arrival of water tiger. I really think it's gonna brighten up, and I'm really hopeful for 2022. Lovely to see people coming out to take photograph of this decoration as well. I was out here also flying my drone, and I must tell you, I really feel this is much better than 2021. The sense is looking up. Things are beginning to or at least there's lights at the end of the tunnel. So I'm really hopeful that in 2022, this little spot in Singapore called Chinatown will see a much better economic activity, and also bring more tourists back to the street. I believe that this is a fantastic place to visit if you are ever going to visit Singapore, and I hope you do, hopefully in 2022. Well, actually, I don't think it's going to be a hope. I think it's going to be a certainty. Why do I say that? Well, the F1 is back. That's why.
The Singapore Grand Prix is back after a 2-year hiatus caused by the pandemic. The country signing a 7-year deal with Formula One. The renewal is Singapore's longest to date, which authorities say would provide a longer runway to capture pent-up demand as international travel recovers.
So there you have it. We're gonna see recovery, and we're gonna see. In fact, there's more to it than this. There's also news coming out from the MAS talking about the recovery of Singapore economy.
Singapore's economy is on course to be better than it was before the pandemic. The central bank says that it will slow next year, but will still see an above-trend growth. Analysts say that this means a growth of between 3 and 5%, barring risks such as a resurgence of COVID-19 infections.
On the street, people are already queuing up. What are they queuing up for? They're queuing up for this famous Singaporean delicacy called bak kwa, or dried meat. Guys, the economy is just about to start recovering. Are you trying to kickstart it with all these purchases? Yeah, why not? Go ahead.
Passengers setting sail from Singapore could be able to take cruises to somewhere later this year. The Singapore Tourism Board says it's in talks with ASEAN authorities on how to harmonize safe cruising standards.
With all this good news, my water tiger, welcome. I think we're gonna see a fantastic 2022. I'll tell you another thing, I felt very blessed when I was making this video because when I was walking about Chinatown, I bumped into some old friends. The first one I bumped into was none other than Woon Lam, Master Woon Lam, who was out and about painting, and Marvin Chew, who was wrapping up his day in the morning, and finally it was Tung Tung, who actually wrote me a couplet, and here he's just scribbling away on his calligraphy. And that's the word fu, or blessings. Typically in Chinese family, we will flip it upside down because it's a homophonous to the word arrival. Fu dao, fu dao. Wow! 感謝感謝感謝。快了，快了。谢谢大师。
人才秀手，万男女有万，水如意吉祥。
如意。
如意吉祥嘛。
Ah. Seriously, what a calligraphy hand. Wow, look at that. As you can see, there's no hesitation. These are his decades of practice. But he's a master. Master Tong Tong. Right there for you. I'm so happy to have bumped into him and having this to decorate my house. Thank you. So that's the fantastic end to a tour of Chinatown. And as I walk around a little bit more, I find even more decorations of tigers around me. So with that, I think you have more or less now know my thoughts around 2022 and what the water tiger is gonna bring to us. This is again some decoration at the end of Chinatown, where near the Chinatown complex, where there's usually a lot of activities. I'm hoping to see even more activity this year, and it certainly is looking good and it's looking up. So, 恭喜发财. I hope you stay safe, and wherever you are, be healthy, and may prosperity find you this water tiger year. Goodbye. Whee Teck out.